we'll jump straight into this, right? Because I didn't want to have a conversation. We normally have a little conversation about where you are before we do the interview, but I didn't want to do that because I think we share all the good stuff prior to this, right?
Yeah.
So I'll give you my thing, right? I saw the poster come out with you and it got me excited. I can't lie, because you're like, you're one of the reasons why I like Muay Thai, from watching your fights back at MTGP days and the CFS and all that kind of stuff. And I always love watching you fight, always love your energy. So I'm excited that you're back. What I want to know is what's happened from the last fight to now. What's that journey been like to get you back fight ready and that hunger to come back for you?
Yeah, I took a little bit of time out. I hurt my back. Actually playing football. A few other things, life just gets in the way sometimes. Also, I got married, moved out of my other halfers, went to do a house up. So, things just get in the way. And it's fine at this level. You can't really do it with, just training here and there. You need to be training your arse off, really. So that was a little bit of a reason. I also didn't really have a team. But at the minute, I'm so happy with the training and who I'm with at the minute. So I'm with Dan Terry. Anyone who knows about Thai boxing from the past 20 years knows who Dan is. He's been in loads of mad fights. So yeah, I'm with him up London and also at Folds with Bright, Tira, and I'm just enjoying my training again. They've both really got my back, and that makes you like a lot more comfortable when you're like training and when you're getting in there. I wanted to fight. I got offered this fight by Josh Hill, and it was just perfect timing. A perfect fight, really, a rematch, WMO, and yeah, it's just perfect, really. And Enigma's one of the best fight shows in the minute, so yeah, that was really wackland.
Tell me about how getting married compares to you winning belts and fights. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah, no, you know what? It was one of the best days ever. I loved it. Yeah, no, I did love it. I wouldn't say I've got the same buzz as getting in the ring. It's a different sort of buzz. But it was a good day.
I thought you wasn't expecting that question.
Yeah,
So let's say that's done. Now you're sorting out your life and stuff like this. Did you use that time to kind of heal up, fix up, just enjoy the sport again?
yeah, I was still training throughout, whatever I could do. And yeah, I really, really missed it. I'm not gonna lie. At the time, I was like, "Will I fight again?" I'm getting older, being a girl and stuff. But the more time I had out, the more I thought, "No, I need to get back in there. I'm not done yet." So,
How does that feel like? See, obviously, you're like an elite fighter and you've had some big fights and you're always in camp. And I remember back in the day, it seemed like you always had something going on, another fight coming up, another title that you're working towards. How does that feel to kind of go into not the slower mode, because I know you can't do slow, but training without a fight compared to now having like a target? How's that change? How's that feeling change?
it's weird. I mean, the first 10 years of me fighting, I fought maybe 5-6 times every year, and it was just constant. Like, I didn't really do anything else. It was fight camp, have a week off, fight camp. So I've slowed that down. I mean, you have to because of your body as well. Obviously, the bigger fights, you need more time to prepare, injuries, whatever. But it's really weird because you get that buzz so many times, and then when you don't get it as much, it's almost like you're chasing it a little bit. But yeah, I just need to skip back in there. I love it too much. When it's like almost like a drug. Some people like going out on the weekends, but for me, I want to be wrapped up by 10 o'clock and getting up for training.
Yeah. So when I saw your poster come out, I did have this one question. I wanted to ask you this. The fight you're going into is the tough fight. And I know what you're like, right? You want the tough fights. That gives you the buzz. But did you feel you wanted like maybe a tune-up fight or something to just warm you up to this? Or
If I'm honest, once you've had a certain amount of fights, I don't really believe in like ring rust. Just don't really think that's a thing. I think if you've trained hard enough and you've had enough fights, when you've got to like 30 fights plus, you know how to fight, you know you can fight. And as long as you've done the right training before, and I didn't really feel like I needed a really warm-up fight as such, not really, no. Obviously, I know her. I've been there before. It was a long time ago, so I'm not expecting it to be the same sort of fight. But I think if you believe in yourself, I think a chin-up fight, that's more just for your own confidence, but I've got that straight away, really, to be honest.
do you think that's the tune-up fighters for those people that don't have that big support network? I tell you what I mean is like your sparring and
Yeah.
your training is elite level anyway. So those people that don't have that, they need to just see where they are before they go to elite level. But like
Yeah.
you're training with the best, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've had some wicked sparring girls as well come down, do like a lot of clinch, a lot of sparring, and I just feel, to be fair, I feel sharp as hell. I can't wait to go. And that's when you know you're ready to fight, when you feel like everything's on point. Um, but yeah, the tuning up, I feel like you can do that in the gym. But if once you've had enough fights, I think up to probably 20 fights, you need to really make sure that it's for you and make sure that you are like, ready for it and you're ready to get in there. But I think past that, if you tune up in the gym and be ready to go.
So from the last fight to this one, there's been obviously a long period of time. In that time, have you used that time to maybe tweak your game a little bit, add something to it? Because you have had the benefit of training with so many high level coaches. So all that knowledge is in your head.
Yeah.
And you're a smart person in terms of like fight IQ, I think is unreal.
Yeah.
In terms of fight IQ. You are
Next question.
no, there's no last question. But no, I listen. I stand by what I say. I think your fight IQ is there, and I think you're an intelligent fighter in that regards, right? Regardless of what you think, I do think you're an intelligent fighter. With all that knowledge that you got and the time that you had off, where you're not, let's say, in a fight camp, have you used that time to change up a few things or tweak a few things or add something to your game?
So my last fight, I actually went in pretty badly injured. I shouldn't have done it really. I hardly trained, just trained around it. And I just thought, being a bit big-headed, I thought I could beat her pretty much without being able to kick. So probably wasn't the best idea. So this has just been completely different. It's been so nice to be able to proper train, feel completely confident. But yeah, I have worked on certain things, like just wanted to tune certain things up. Dan's been wicked. We've like literally stripped it back and started on a few little things that I wanted to work on. But I've been pretty lucky in training with some of the best coaches in the world, Thailand, England. And I think I've took bits that I like from each person. I mean, to most people, I probably look like a right gym hopper, but I have had good reasons for each one. And I'm pretty on good terms with all of them. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes life just gets in the way. You have to move around. But I've took bits from everyone. So I feel like I'm an all-round fighter and how I like to fight. That I think my IQ is pretty good, but I've got a tendency to get in there and sometimes just want to literally have a fight and be entertaining. It's probably half the reason why people like to watch me as well. But yeah, this time I'm going to make sure I use my brain.
Excellent. You've been her in the past, and she's been quite active since, let's say, last year or so. Have you been watching her fights? Have you studied her styles? And have you seen things that are different in what she brings to the table this time around that you're adjusting your game for?
Yeah, she's definitely a lot sharper, I think, than when we last fought. Obviously, she has actually been a lot active. She had a long time out as well, but she's come back and been more active than me. If I'm honest, I think we're going to put on fight tonight. I've got no hate towards or anything like that. She's a lovely girl. And I think we're going to put on a great show. I still think, obviously, I'm the better fighter, and I've just got to prove it again. No problem on my part. But I think we're the sort of girls that we're going to put on fight of the night and then have a beat together after.
100%. Do you think you're kin with? It's not the right word. It's an advantage, but she wouldn't have seen what you were doing over the last year, so she wouldn't see what you're doing in the gym. So she doesn't know the Grace Spicer that's going to do that ring walk and fight her. Whereas you have a little bit more advantage where you can see actually what she's about and maybe adjust for it. Do you think that bit of that bit where she doesn't know what your level you're at right now gives you a little bit of an edge?
Yeah, like I've obviously watched her last fight against Fiona Walker. That was a good fight. And a few others I think I watched. Yeah, she hasn't been able to see that much of me. Obviously, if she's watched the last one, I won't go off that one because that literally was me at half, if not maybe 30%. Yeah, she hasn't got to see what I'm working on. But at the end of the day, I couldn't really care less if she can't watch me train. It just won't. It doesn't matter on the night, to be honest.
Cool. So someone watching you for the first time, Grace.
Yeah.
Right. What could they expect?
They can expect one of the best girls fights that they will see. I think I am one of the most entertaining girls out there. I've said it before, and every time I'm in there, it's just a war. Probably not to my mum's happiness or my dad's happiness, but I just love it. And even if say it hurts or whatever, I'll just keep going forward. Like I say, I'm planning on a little bit more of a smart fight this time, but I can see me and her biting our gumshoes down, and not just having a war like, you see some girls or boys throwing wild shots, handbags, do you know what I mean? It's going to be proper Thai style, all out. I think, yeah, entertaining, strong. I never quit, never been stopped. So, yeah, just
Just
get a beer and enjoy.
see, I know you well enough to know like the belt titles and that don't mean nothing to you.
No.
I know there's a belt on the line in this one, but it's more about the prestige of the fight.
Mm.
You want the tough fights. You want to be tested. You want to enjoy the fight as well. So when you're having your beer, you can say, "Oh, that was awesome," right? What's beyond this fight? Are you back now? And is you looking to put a stamp on the division now to say, you know what, Grace Spicer's back. I'm not coming to fuck around anymore.
Yeah, to be honest, I would have took this fight without the title be on it. The title was a nice added bonus, just like they always are, but they're not everything to me. Like, a belt's, you've got them on the side now, they get dusty, that, it's the memories more than anything and the fights that you've been in. Just like ties, that they take all these fights. It's not really about the belts. They're just a nice touch. But yeah, so, she's number one at the minute. She's beaten quite a few girls in the rankings. So, I do want to come back. And if I'm going to come back, I don't want to fight 5-4. I think I've earned my right to fight her. Obviously I beat her already. Straight in, beat number one. And then whoever wants to come after me, come after me.
Excellent. Love that. So yeah, yeah, I think I'm running out of questions for you. I'm actually genuinely quite excited to have you to have you back.
I actually can't wait. Do you know what? It's been one of the first times I've not moaned about. I mean, it's a bit nice as well. I'm fighting at 53, so I've been fighting at 15, and I definitely prefer fighting at 53. I've decided. I ain't got to think about it way. And it's just I feel good the whole time. I'm just so excited to get in there. I've not moaned about a single thing, which is
Good.
little more.
Do you think there's more opportunities for like the women division right now compared to like let's say a year or two ago? It seems like there's more options.
Yeah, I think there's more good girls, which is obviously great for matchups and stuff. But like in general, I think there's so much more for girls now. Obviously, I lived in Thailand for 3 years. I came back like a few times, but generally about 3 years, and I couldn't hardly get in a fight out there. This was way before one championship. Girls couldn't even touch the ring when I lived there in Lumpini, Raja. If you wanted a fight by the ring, you had to be like 3 or 4 steps away from it, let alone fighting it. So the only fights I could get was going to like some festival outside, 5-hour drive. I was meant to fight on King's birthday, that didn't happen. So, people go to me, why have you never fought on, like in Rajadamnum, why have you never fought in Lumpini? And it's like, well, that was literally like a few years ago thing. And since then, I've not lived in Thailand. So I'm like a little bit envious that wasn't the case when I lived there. But, it is what it is. I would have had a lot more fights in Thailand if that would have been the case 100%. So now when girls are like coming up, they can see it. Like, the girls fighting on the RWS, one championship, they've got a lot more goals than what I had really.
Yeah, you kind of trailblazed. You did trailblaze because I remember covering your fights ages ago, and there wasn't that many options. You were fighting. You fought some entertaining fights on, and that did create the buzz with some of these girls that are coming through right now. They would have watched you fight.
Yeah.
Now you're back. Now you're fighting at high levels. In the back of your head, are you thinking, I can get on RWS? I can maybe go to one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just always in the back of your head a little bit. But I want to do it the right way. I want to be number one here before I start doing things like that. And then, I could definitely get on them shows with a few more fights, I think. And I think it'd be entertaining to watch them on there, definitely.
Yeah.
So, but it's when I was fighting, I didn't really have that many girls to look up to. There was only really it was town hall shows. They got bigger as I went along. Like Muay Thai Mayhem got really big, and I was on there all the time. We did have the Kettle shows back then. They were probably one of the best shows to be on. But now the shows have got bigger and bigger. So yes, it's great for girls coming through.
I think it's quite like for me anyway. It's being in the crowd when you fight, and your walkout comes out, and you get everyone just going bananas. And I think it's something to experience. So those ones that haven't got tickets yet, you definitely need to be there.
Definitely get to give this fight. I generally think, I don't know if the main event, I think we are, but either way, we're going to be fight of the night. I'm actually going up north, so I'm not expected to have the grand show I normally get in London, but when my country song rocks, I'm going to be like bouncing in there, and it's going to be a great atmosphere. I just can't wait.
Excellent. Yes, listen, thank you for the catch up. Before we end this, who do you want to shout out? Who you want to thank getting you ready for this camp?
I want to shout out my two sponsors, Ripple Electrical and Skips, Herd and Skips. They both literally helped me so much in this fight camp. I want to shout out Dan Terry, his whole fight team, really. Everyone just welcomed me so much, helped me literally week in, week out. Bright, he couldn't have done enough for me from Folds. He's literally been there for anything I needed. James, he's a boxing coach that owns Folds. He's been wicked. And just everyone has helped me, really. My mum and dad for putting up with me coming back, and with dad making me all my salads and stuff. I've moved out, but I still go around there to get me dinner. And then Hurst as well, obviously, my other half. I couldn't ask for a more supportive husband, to be honest. You know, a lot of men wouldn't like their girls doing this for starts. I'm always surrounded by boys, and he's just the most. Basically, I couldn't do it without him, really. As soon as I said to him, I'm definitely coming back, he was straight away, right, let's do this. So, yeah, just that's it, really. Just thanks to everyone.
Excellent, Grace. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you fight.
Cheers. Let's go.
Thank you.